The first step to ensure that a copper pipe doesn't leak is to cut the copper pipe correctly. It's important to get a square cut so that a tube will properly seat into a fitting. The easiest way for a beginner to get a square cut is to use a tubing cutter, and a tubing cutter is sometimes also called a pipe cutter. These are two common types of cutters used for household copper plumbing. The Mini is designed for tight spaces. For very small spaces, use an angle grinder, Dremel tool, or a mini hacksaw to make your cut. There are C-shaped cutters. Some of these will cut multiple sizes of tubes, and some are specific to only one size tube. Mark the location for the cut. This screw-feed cutter has two rollers and a cutting wheel. Before beginning any work, clean the rollers and the cutter wheel from any debris that might have been left behind from previous work. Place the tube in the valley between the two rollers. Turn the feed knob clockwise until the cutter wheel meets the mark on the tube. Then turn the knob about a quarter turn clockwise. Hold the tube with your hand and turn the cutter 360 degrees. If working on existing plumbing, if possible, hold on to the tube and try not to stress any nearby solder joints. You should see a light groove in the tube. Turn the knob about 1/8 of a turn clockwise. Rotate the cutter another 360 degrees. Inspect the cut. There should be only one groove. If it doesn't track on the first groove and the cut is spiraling, start a new cut and try to tighten the feed knob a little tighter. Don't over-tighten and crush the tube. If the tube is at a round, it won't go into the fitting. If you can't get the cutter to track into one groove, then possibly the cutter wheel is damaged. If after 2 revolutions the cutter is tracking properly, continue the process of spinning the cutter 360 degrees and then tightening it about a quarter turn. Notice there are burrs on the end of the cut. You don't want these bits of metal breaking away and getting into the water supply and maybe getting into a valve. If you run your finger on the inside of the tube or an object, you can feel a ridge caused by the cutter wheel pushing the metal inward during the cutting process. There is controversy among some tradespeople about the removal of the lip on the inside of the tube. Some say if it's left in place, it creates turbulence, noise, and that it causes holes downstream in the tube. For sure, the lip will cause restriction. Most of these tools will have a built-in reamer. I found that the one on my tool doesn't do a particularly good job at removing the inner lip. Reamers that deburr both edges of the pipe are available. If you don't want to buy any special tools, I find a utility knife does a good job at removing the lip from the inside of the tube. For this video, I'm going to hold the tube in the up position so you can see what I'm doing, but you would want to hold the tube in the down position so that the shavings fall out of the tube and not back up into it. Use the utility knife to try to make a smooth and circular cut as possible around the inside of the tube, as you're trying not to make any extra burrs. And you don't want to take away too much material, just so that the inside lip of copper is removed. A swivel reamer does a faster job than a utility knife. Use the tip of your finger to feel for when the lip has been cut away. For the burrs on the outer edge of the cut, just use a piece of sandcloth. Clean away any shavings. If you have a small brush, you could use it to brush the inside of the tube out. Check to see that the tube end seats into a fitting easily. That's how to cut a piece of copper tubing with a tube cutter. I hope you found this video helpful. A thumbs up is always appreciated. Click on the channel name, Know How Now, to find other videos. And thanks for watching.